Hey everybody, I literally just finished the video you're about to see about 3 minutes ago and realized I forgot something, but rather than reshoot, just want to mention it here. If you are making a skirt of this weight, whether it is the correct weight or the much more weight, you'll understand in a minute, you want to use belting. They call it out in the pattern, and what that is a woven piece of fabric that is used to make belts. There is going to be a second video that comes out with this video that gives you some basic instructions about how to attach it to a waistband. So I just wanted to make sure I said that, and I will see you soon. Hey everybody, it's Gail, and while this blouse is very brightly colored, we're here today to talk about the skirts. The skirts. So this skirt is from a 1950s pattern, and it was supposed to be a Dirndl skirt. And a Dirndl skirt is a German skirt that is full, but it doesn't stick out the way that a lot of 1950s skirts generally do when you think of 1950s skirts. And the thing is, the instructions weren't difficult, but I had to do some math to get it to my waist size, which is 33 inches. And I thought I nailed that pretty good. But at some point, I fucked up. And this is double the amount of skirt you actually need. The original skirt is supposed to come out somewhere around 700 stitches. This is almost exactly 1400. I literally doubled my skirt size. And the way that happened is I'm bad at math. That's why I'm a writer and not a mathematician. Anyway, it is a 2-row repeat. Come on in here, babe. You work rows of double crochets, and then you work rows of V-stitches, and then you just repeat that over and over. You work the increases as you go. There are little single crochet dips that you put in there to add the ruffle. I went in and went up a few rows to really make them stand out. This is made with a fingering weight yarn, and I used BC corn lino and linen because the original yarn was described as a raffia-like texture. So I wanted something that was a little more, grippy's not the right word. Textured, firm. Let's go with firm. Firm's good enough. A yarn that's going to stand up a little more on its own is what I was going for. And this yarn is gorgeous. It was great to work with. It does give you a bit of a rustic look because it is just 100% linen. It is also being discontinued, which I found out when I ran out of the 10 skeins I bought, because that's how many it should have taken, and then had to go source another 10 skeins in the same color in order to finish it, and then had to source another 10 skeins after that because of fuckery. I got all 30 skeins. I just 10 of them are like 8 states away right now for reasons. But this is a really easy pattern. I mean, you start at the waistband, you work the waist, you do the original. If you come in here, you can see where you start the pattern to get it to give you the nice little hills. I'm bad with words tonight. We're going to call them hills. And then once you get that, and you just work your way down, and what they want you to do is work it so that you have an even number of, so that you have a certain number of V stitches worked every time you work V stitches, and they want you to have them equally spaced, is how they put it. So you need 36 stitches between each single crochet in order to have enough to have those 18 V stitches. But part of doing that is increasing on the double crochet only rounds, which is what threw me off and made me end up with so much skirt. But that's okay because it looks great. It's linen, so it's going to breathe. It's an open work that's going to breathe, but also it does this. And again. So I'm very much in love with it. I ended up using about 18 and a half skeins to finish because I just got to a point I needed to be done with it because it is a lot of skirt, as I've mentioned. But, you know, it's one of those happy accidents. It was not supposed to look like this, but God, isn't it great? You just love it. No notes on the pattern in terms of mistakes. Like I said, this is all self-inflicted. I will link to the pattern if I can find a link to it still. If I cannot find a link to it, you can always hit me up. I'm happy to email it to you. Oh, the very last thing, there is one thing in the pattern where it talks about, it wants you to use a number 3 steel crochet hook. And that can either be a 125 or a 185. And going by gauge, it was a 125. But once I had the waistband in, I basically said, fuck that. Went up to a 225 for a little bit and then went up to a 2.5 and stayed there. And what that's going to do is just make it build a little faster. You're supposed to actually have these come out at 3/4 of an inch, all of the double crochets, and it just wasn't doing it for me, so I skipped that part. So it really was. It was a lovely suggestion. The pattern, had a great time with it, but I went wild. Um, yeah, I think that's going to be it for reals. As always, if you enjoy what I do here, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And I update about every 10 days, so I'll see you in 10 days.